The issue of resources is also at the front border at this national conference. How best do you think that the country can best share its resources?
Look, the 1963 Constitution, if you have the benefit to sit down and read it, says that, resource should be by derivation. The people who have the resources should be able to take a huge part of it and just... The funny thing about Nigeria today is that the federal government does not contribute a kobo to the revenue of Nigeria. And yet, the federal government takes almost 60% of the chunk of the money that comes. That is the irony in Nigeria. The states that produce the revenue go cap in hand to the federal government, who does not contribute at all, asking for money. That is the irony of Nigeria. And that is why we need to look at this area. The federal government can make money from royalty, from taxes, allow the people who have the resources to enjoy and develop their area with the resources, and pay whatever royalty or taxes the federal government wants. One thing I know, because of the international law relating to the law of the sea, there are certain areas beyond the boundaries of Nigeria that belong to the whole country. Such money, okay, the federal government can claim to own it, because under international law, that area has been designated to be an area, a maritime area, where every country that has boundary to it can use it for its economy. And that's why we have so many oil blocks in the deep sea. It belongs to Nigeria as a nation. That one I can concede to the federal government, that, okay, you harness it and distribute it. But any other thing within the land, whether it is oil, whether it's gold, whether it's coal, let the people in whose area or domain it is situated, let them control it and pay royalty to the federal government.
Now let's talk about the judiciary. One suggestion that has come out of this conference is for the reform of the judiciary is that state judiciary should be autonomous, and we should establish state courts of appeal and Supreme Courts. Do you agree with this call?
Well, in a federating system of governance, every state must have a court of appeal. Every state must have a Supreme Court. Then on top of all this, there will be an apex court, which is the federal Supreme Court. In the 60s, 1963 Constitution, the Western Regional Government had a court of appeal. And it worked well, even though the other regions did not take it up. But the West took it up. But that does not mean that, despite and in spite of their own court of appeal, appeals still go from that court to the Supreme Court. So, for the interest of enhancing easy dispensation of cases, I will support that each state has its own court of appeal.
So that means we'll have 36 courts of appeal?
Well, that is...
And then one Supreme Court.
I don't agree to all these states that we have in Nigeria. Most of our problems today in Nigeria emanated from this elongation of states. From 4 regions to 12 states to 19 states to 21 states to 36 states. We were only playing to the people to make people... Every state you create tomorrow, there will be a minority in that state. When we had Benue Plateau State, when we had 12 states, we had Benue Plateau State. People were complaining that they were minorities. They were being cheated. Benue Plateau was divided into 2. Within the Benue State, people started complaining again they were being marginalized. From that Benue State, they brought Kogi State. A particular tribe that was a minority crying under Benue State is now a dominant tribe, and people are crying against it. I can assure you, if you create 20 more states in Nigeria today, there will still be this cry of domination.
Do you agree that the NJC is too powerful and there's a need for it to be reformed, especially in the light of what's going on with the appointment of the Rivers State CJ?
You see, people believe that the NJC is too powerful because nobody has tested their power. They have been doing certain things and people believe correct. For instance, I am of the view that the NJC has no power to suspend a judge. Under the Constitution,
But they have been doing that.
they have been doing it, but it's wrong. And nobody has challenged it. Fortunately, now it's been challenged. Let me give you a scenario. In 1993, Abiola, through his counsel, late G.O.K. Ajayi, was seeking bail from the Supreme Court. When G.O.K. got before Justice Bello and his panel, he said, look, gentlemen, I don't think I can get justice from the five of you. Because you have been at the Supreme Court. He said because you have compromised yourself, Abacha has given all you judges of the Supreme Court Mercedes-Benz and registered in your name. So I am not ready to present my case to you people. Oh, Justice Bello said, oh, if that is so, we will excuse ourselves. But how do you form a new panel? So Abiola could not get a bail because no new panel could be formed. All of them had been compromised. Now the scenario is going to play itself out now. The NJC now says, look, we never recommended to you, Amechi, you have appointed this man without recourse to our recommendation. Therefore, we are suspending him. My belief is that if you don't have a power to appoint, you don't have a power to suspend. Now, they have done so. The man has gone to court. That case is going to reach the apex court. There, his lawyer will tell the panel that, look, you suspended my client and you want to listen to his case. I will not allow you to listen to his case because you cannot be a judge in your own right.
The world is an ever-changing global village. Hunger, conflict, and the quest to maintain established territories form the next frontier of discussions that determine the world we choose to live in. Every word, every discussion, every agreement or disagreement is crucial. Be part of the next frontier. Be part of Diplomatic Channel, only on Channels Television.
That is our interview and the program for this week. If you missed any part of it, you can find the video on our YouTube page. Please watch and share it, and don't forget to leave your comments or questions. And with that, we adjourn for a fresh episode next week. I am Shola Shieli. Thank you for watching.